Hi, it's Janine Turner, and welcome to Front Porch Philosophy. Let's go retro. Let's take a deep breath, shall we? Today we're going to be talking about Aristotle and Entelechy. Yeah. Okay, but first, you know what we do here at Front Porch Philosophy? Let's take a deep breath, shall we? A deep breath. Yes, it's amazing how powerful a deep breath is. More than one usually, but we don't have time for all that. But take a deep breath. All right, today we're going to be talking about Aristotle and Entelechy. This is a book I love by Samuel Stump, From Socrates to Sartre, and I am not getting paid to promote this book, but I really love it, and it's just inspirational. And my disclaimer, you know, of course, is that I'm an actress. I'm not a professional philosopher. However, that doesn't mean that you and I cannot philosophize, does it? Okay, so today, Aristotle, you know, we've been really primarily discussing Plato, Socrates, Heraclitus, Socrates, and Plato, whom I love. I love all three of those. And now Aristotle. Aristotle is a little more scientific, and he doesn't have really the amazing sense of soul that Plato had. But we're going to talk about that a little bit. Well, he does, but in a different way. Plato believed in an eternal, whereas Aristotle does not. So there's this word, entelechy, and it's the vital principle that guides development, essentially. But here's what's so fascinating about it, because Aristotle believed we have a purpose in life, which is to be the best that we can, whether we're an insect or an animal or a human being, that we're all pulled toward what he calls the unmoved mover. So Plato believed that we started in heaven, or with the form, but, you know, the soul was eternal, and that we knew things, and that we come to earth and we lose sight of those things, and we try to go back to those things, and any imprints we have of goodness is from what we learned before, and then when we pass, we go back. Whereas Aristotle believed that we're innately born with these things, and that life is all there is, and when it's over type of thing. But both of them believed in making the best of your life and being good. And so that's my generalization of it. But I wanted to read some from Samuel Stump. Okay, the entelechy, the definitive form of the body. Without the body, the soul could neither be nor exercise its functions, because Aristotle believes the soul is within the body, so it needs the body. This is in sharp contrast to Plato's explanation of the body as the prison house of the soul. So in other words, our soul was somewhere else, and it came here, and it's imprisoned in the body. Let's see. Yes, by contrast, Aristotle says that the body and soul together form one substance. Because he separated, but Plato, because he separated the soul and body, could speak of the pre-existence of the soul. See, I like all this, because it really mirrors Christianity, I believe, which is amazing that he could do that all those years before Christ. He could also describe knowledge or learning as the process, this is Plato, could describe knowledge or learning as the process of recollection of what the soul knew in the previous state. Moreover, Plato could also speak of the immortality of the individual soul. Aristotle, on the other hand, tied soul and body so closely together that with the death of the body, the soul, its organizing principle, the entelechy, also perished. Okay, so Plato believed that we're born sort of with a lot of things that we forgot, that we knew before with God, so to speak, but that we seek it. And anything we visualize and see, we've actually seen before with God in the eternal, which is just, to me, truly fascinating. Whereas Aristotle believed that we were born with a blank tablet. And many philosophers, our minds are blank tablets. Says here, also for Aristotle, the mind begins as a blank tablet. And you know what's fascinating for me with philosophy is that I think it's so important for all of us to venture into a rudimentary sort of understanding of it, because we see this mirrored in other philosophers down the line, Rousseau and the rest of them. And we also see it mirrored in our founding fathers and what they tried to do with the development of our country, especially when you get into, they take a little bit of everybody. They took Heraclitus, they took a little bit of Plato, they took a little bit of Aristotle in regard to the state when he talks about politics. So it's really, really fascinating. There was a song, oh, The Tortoise and the Hare. Well, that was started by one of the philosophers before Socrates. So it's really interesting, and to pick up little bits here and there of what each sort of generation has passed on to the other, and so much of what we think and do is really so much a part of philosophers and those before us. That's why I think history is really, really important, as well as just philosophy, thinking about what is our purpose. And I think we are missing that in our society today. We're certainly missing any, I mean, it exists within our communities, of course, with our faith, but in our secular society, we've become so me-oriented. Everything is I, and we've lost the sense of purpose, higher purpose. Why are we here? What is our virtue? What is our moral integrity? And I think these are things that we're not teaching our children in school. And how can we? When we've taken we're so scared to mention God, even a God of a child's choice, or to talk about higher perspectives other than just the I. And I think it's going to be the downfall of our society. And I think we're seeing it a lot now, which was in the op-ed that I wrote yesterday. We've become sort of these I don't know, we're certainly not progressing. I think we're regressing back to the stone throwers and we burn people at the stake, but we just do it now through social media and the 24-hour news cycle and whatnot. So seeking for the higher purpose. Anyway, we're starting today with that concept because we're going to build on that as we go through this week in Entelechy. And Aristotle thought the body and the soul were one, and when you died, that was it. Plato believed that the soul and the body were separate, but the soul is captivated in the body, and that we knew things from the eternal, and we come here and we see them and repetitions of them and try to find them when we go back. Really interesting. Aristotle's much more scientific. So there you go. Oh, it's fun to philosophize, isn't it? I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, philosophical day, and I'll see you tomorrow.